Hi, I'm Tom Wishon, and I wanted to tell you a little bit about probably the most technologically advanced driver that I've ever designed for Wishon Golf. That's the new 719 MW, with MW standing for movable weight. The 719 is also one of the very first investment cast titanium drivers that Wishon Golf has produced. And the reason for that is because of the very complex requirements of the 719 design. First of all, there are 4 sole-located weight bores or weight chambers on the bottom of the head. These are designed on the bottom of the head to receive a series of different weights that we've created in many different increments: 2 gram, 4, 6, 8, 10, 20, and 30 gram. The idea is that you can use the 719 driver to move weights around the head to do the usual thing that many drivers have had, from the standpoint of rear weight to increase launch angle, forward weight to lower the launch angle and spin, toe and heel weighting for a draw bias to reduce a fade a little bit, or toe weighting to reduce a draw ever so slightly. Now, the key thing, though, is the amount of weight that's able to be moved around on the 719 driver. Many years ago, in fact, it was a long time ago, in the late 80s, I had the honor of working with the late Elmore Just, founder of Louisville Golf Company, to create the first heel-weighted draw bias driver ever made in the golf industry. Now, this was a driver that was made out of laminated maple, a wooden head, so we're talking about back in the late 1980s that I did this with Elmore. What that did, by embedding a large amount of weight in the heel, we proved that it was, we were able to shift the center of gravity with the heel weight and move that CG ever so slightly on the heel side of the center of the face, so that when the golfer contacted the ball on center, it caused a very slight rotation of the head about the vertical axis through the center of gravity. That created, in essence, a tilt of the spin axis, which then reduced the amount of fade on a shot. So the Cure was the name of that wooden head driver that Elmore and I did back in '89. That gave way in the mid-90s to a head that I created, the first metal wood with heel weighting, which was called the AccuCore 50. And the AccuCore 50, what that taught me when we did that head was that we had to put at least 25 to 30 grams of weight into the heel side of the club to move the center of gravity enough to where a center shot off the face would definitely create a visible, draw bias on the shot with that. Now, you've seen many other heads all around the industry for the last many years, and they've all had the maximum amount of weight has been 20 grams that they've been able to move. Well, 20 grams is not enough to move the center of gravity to create a draw or fade bias or higher or low shot for the vast majority of golfers who are out there with average club head speeds. Now, you can move a 20 gram weight around a head for a tour player or any kind of player who's over 110 mile an hour club head speed, who has the proficiency to hit it in the middle of the face a lot of the time, and he will see, the movement of the shot shape change from moving weight around the head. But 98, 99% of the other golfers, when you move a 20 gram weight around on a head to try and reduce a draw or reduce a fade or hit the ball a little higher or lower, it doesn't work. And so that's why when I decided that I wanted to create a new driver that had movable weight characteristic, it had to have the ability to move at least 30 grams around the head to be able to offer regular golfers the chance to be able to see a change in the shape of their shots. Now, the kick with that was, if you're going to put 30 grams moving around on the head, you have to make sure that the total weight of the head with that 30 gram weight doesn't exceed at least around 202, 205 grams, or else you can't build the golf club to a normal range of swing weights. So that was the requirement that required very complex work on the design and the production of the head. And one of the other reasons that we chose investment casting to make the 719 metal weight or movable weight. Now, what happens on this is for the head to come to you when you buy it at 202 to 204 grams, that means the body of this head with no weights added at 450 cc's large driver size that's popular today, the body of the head with no weights added has to be in the realm of 172 grams. Now that is really difficult to do. And that is something that could only be done with one of the very best investment cast titanium foundries on the planet, to be able to vary the wall thickness, to also remove the entire crown of titanium and replace that with very lightweight carbon composite, to be able to get the raw head weight of the body only down to 172 grams. That way, if you add a 30-gram weight, total weight of the head ends up normal for what our driver specs have been for years at Wishon Golf at 202 grams. Now, let me tell you a little bit about what all you can do with this driver in addition. We have weights here that are set up in lots of different increments. The head is also created with the first adjustable Hosel sleeve that I've ever done on a driver. Now, you all know, you've read a lot of the reports that I've written and technical articles. I'm very much against adjustable Hosel sleeve drivers. And what I need to clarify is I'm against adjustable Hosel sleeve drivers that only try to change loft. Okay, the reason for that is because all of the adjustable Hosel drivers work the same way. They use a rotation of the sleeve to change the angle at which the shaft goes into the head. And through that, that means that if you want to use the sleeve to change loft, you have to hold the head behind the ball in the address position in a 0 degree square face angle position. That means you can't rest the head on its sole, because if you do rest the head on the sole, then that tilt of the angle of the shaft into the head from rotating the sleeve turns into a lie or a face angle, or a little bit of both lie and face angle change for the specifications, and not a change of loft. Well, the problem with using the sleeves to change loft only is that when you have to hold the head square behind the ball, you eliminate face angle as a fitting factor for the golf club. And for me, being able to fit golfers for a custom face angle is one of the very most important things that you can do in custom fitting. The reason is because there are so many golfers out there who slice the ball. A few who hook it, but the vast majority of golfers, it was estimated by Golf Digest a number of years ago in an article, 70% of golfers slice the ball to a point where it becomes problematic occasionally with their shot making. Now, we can all, take the approach and say, well, yeah, sure, all those golfers who slice the ball, they should take lessons. They should work on their game. They should change their swing path or their release and delivery of the club to be able to hit the ball straighter. That's a wonderful thought, but the problem is that not every golfer can do that. And because A, it costs money, B, it costs a lot of time to be able to practice, the new move out, to reduce the slice, but also C, golf is an athletic endeavor. There are a lot of golfers who just simply cannot slot the club on more of an inside-out swing path. So fitting for face angle is critical in my book when it comes to driver fitting. That's why when I created the adjustable Hosel sleeve for the new 7.1 driver, you'll look on it and you'll see the letters for the different sleeve positions are N for neutral, O for open, C for closed, U for upright. So what's that tell you? That tells you that I've intentionally made this sleeve to be able to fit face angle and lie, not loft, as a primary use of the sleeve. So the sleeve is just like everybody else's. It drops right into the Hosel. It has a locking screw on the bottom. Each one of the sleeves will also come with a little tiny collar that fits on top like a ferrule. And that makes a nice smooth transition for the sleeve to the shaft. So the sleeve's primary role is to change lie and face angle. Now, every one of the 719 heads is going to be shipped with an instruction sheet that's quite extensive. And because these sleeves can be used by golfers who don't need an open or closed face angle. Because those sleeves can be used to change loft, I've put a chart in the instruction sheet that goes with every one of the 719 drivers that tells you how the different positions can be used to change loft if you decide to do that. Now, again, I don't recommend using the sleeve for changing loft on the 719 MW driver unless the golfer hits the ball straight the vast majority of the time. Because to get the loft change, you're going to have to hover the club a little bit off the ground and hold the club square behind the ball. Now, the other point is, as you say, all previous Wishon Golf drivers, metalwoods, hybrids irons have had a Hosel weight bore down at the base of the shafting bore into which you could put 2 gram, 4 gram, 6 gram, 8, 9 gram weights for establishing your final swing weighting. You won't be able to do that with the 719, obviously, because the adjustable Hosel sleeve is taking up the place of where that weight bore would have been down at the base of the Hosel. So what we've done instead, remember, you've got 4 different weight cavities on the sole. We've created weights in 2 gram, 4 gram, 6 gram, 8 gram, and 10 gram increments, in addition to the larger weights of 20 and 30 grams for shot shape changing. The 2 gram through 10 gram weights can be used in the sole for your final swing weighting. That's how you're going to do that. And with 4 different cavities on the sole, you've got plenty of room down there to be able to use one of the heavier weights to either create the draw or fade bias or higher or lower shot, and then use the others to be able to bring the club up to wherever you need it for your final swing weight with that. So that's why this 719 MW driver is so versatile. Not only can you build this club to create different shot shape changes, higher, lower, reducing fades, reducing draws, but you can also use it to be able to change the moment of inertia. That's right, that's kind of a clever one. Let's say, for example, you wanted to make this even a little bit more forgiving than it already is. You could take 2 10 gram weights and put them on the toe and heel. And that's going to substantially increase the moment of inertia to make it that much more forgiving for off-center hits. So again, the other thing too, remember, the body of this head only weighs 172 grams with no weights added. Let's say you put all 4 weight cavities filled with the very light 2 gram weight, 2, 4, 6, 8. Now you've got a 180 gram head that's completely playable. That means you could build a driver incredibly long and have it a normal swing weight, or you could build it incredibly light for, let's say, a senior, an elderly player who doesn't need a very high swing weight. So you can make this head anywhere from 180, and if you wanted, you could use 4 30 gram weights, to make it ridiculously heavy. You can make this head any weight you want between 180 and whatever you need. It means you could build a 42-inch driver of D3 or D4 swing weight. You could reach that specification if you want to, or you could build longer 45, 46, 47-inch driver if you like, also at normal swing weights. So that's why the 4 weight cavities, along with the adjustable Hosel sleeve to be able to fit lie or face angle, or to be able to change loft, makes this the most versatile driver that I have ever designed. Now, we will be offering the 719 in base lofts of 9 degrees and 11 degrees. It will still be eligible for the Wishon Golf Hand Select program to be able to find, let's say, the 9 degree head in an 8.5, a 9, a 9.5. Possibly we can get 1 degree difference, but the foundry that's making this is incredibly good and incredibly accurate. And so far, we think that we're not going to see a lot of plus or minus 1 loft tolerances on these drivers. So the 11 degree driver, you could have it a hand select in 10.5, 11, 11.5, and maybe a 12 here and there. Or you can use the sleeve, using the chart to change loft, as long as you know that you have to hover the club and hold it square. So that's a lot to it. The 719 MW movable weight driver from Wishon Golf. Thanks very much for your attention.